Hi everybody, welcome to the channel. We're here with a general reading. Before we get into it, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with everyone's highest good. It looks like there is a directive that you are getting. Like you may be being reached out to by your spirit guides. You may be getting downloads, an intuitive message. It's something that's going to bring clarity or information that you needed to you. There may be a focus on releasing as well, or even like releasing expectations of something going a particular way, opening yourself up to how it will happen. All right. Focus on Six of Pentacles, equality, reciprocity, fairness, also something that you want. Okay. So we have Six of Pentacles, Nine of Cups, Five of Swords. There may be something that you want, but there may also be a part of you that could be potentially struggling with this. Let's use an example. Like, you feel like you should be making maybe a certain amount of money, but then there's this other part of you that's like, do you really deserve that? It can be stuff like that. Negative self-talk space with the Five of Swords, and maybe even something that you feel blocked by at times with the Devil, like maybe a block within the 3D that you're experiencing, or something even that happens repetitively. Like this can be like, I can't get my mind to stop, I can't turn it off, and I feel like it may be overpowering something that I'm trying to get connected with here, something like this. This can be connected to like your worth or what you feel like you deserve, the things that you want, the things that you wish for. Like, hey, it would be really great if I entered into this situation and I was compensated in this way. Like, this is what I dreamed to receive within this situation. Can be with a relationship too, like maybe wanting something and not getting what you want from somebody, but also still feeling like the connection is there. Let's get further and see. Yeah, you may be taking a break or pulling back from something. You still have a connection to it, but you feel like it's best because you may not be getting something that you need. You may need time to rethink. Could be taking a break, could be taking a vacation. So in this like resting period that you have, I'm seeing you get to a point where you're like, while I have this time off, or while I'm taking this moment to myself, or while I cleared my schedule for the rest of the night, I need to think about this choice. I need to think about this decision that I need to make, and I can't put it off anymore. So this kind of like lull that you experience where it may get like a bit more quiet for you, there's a purpose to it because you need to make a choice connected with something that you want. You have the Empress popping out here. Empress, Venus, could have to do with a relationship, your empowerment, ideas that you have, something that you want to create. I think we started off by saying relationships. Can have to do with your, creative, artistic abilities, projects, things like that. For some of you, Capricorn Venus. To have Venus here, like this could also be a decision about a woman in your life as well. A woman or a feminine figure. However, at the end of the day, this is going to come back to you, and it can be a focus on like what you need, especially in order to feel empowered within a relationship that you have. I'm seeing something that there's like to have the devil and also the Nine of Swords below it. It may be something that you are profusely worrying about. To have like all of this energy here, this is like, I feel trapped in a nightmare in my head and I can't get out. And this can be like a moment. It can be for like a span of time that this is happening. But this is a focus on like, I can't get outside of my thoughts and I just feel like I'm stuck here in this place that feels so uncomfortable. However, it is going to motivate some sort of change, because this can almost be something that feels so maybe psychologically painful that it's like, something's got to give here. I can't keep doing things like this. And with the Five of Swords here, there may be like a clash or a battle of the egos that are going on. Something like that. But I want to get more context for this. Because Five of Swords can be like not being open to certain things. Yeah, you feel like something isn't working for you. You may have felt like, hey, I'm not being treated how I want to be treated. It's like you're starting to see yourself like this in an empowered space. And you may feel upset because you're like, this is not the situation for me. But I'm seeing you be upset because you're like, that means that I'm going to have to move on from it. But something was happening where you were like, I want so badly for this. Okay, we're getting I'm seeing this fall into place here. This is making a lot more sense. You're like, I want to be treated like this. Like, this is what would feel right to me. If only it would be like this. Because the Nine of Cups can be something that we want, but not what's actually happening. So it's like, I wish for it to be like that, but that may not be how it's not materializing for you. This is how I'm seeing it. And it's like something feels very, very unhealthy. So this can be like, I either feel so closed off and like I'm having so many issues with like my ego within a situation, or I want this person to treat me like that. And I feel like I'm in this space where I want their approval or validation, or I want their support, and they're not giving it to me. And this can be a very, very unhealthy relationship. Like this can be something where there's like badgering with words or like bullying, or you're just, there's so many different ways that we can interpret this. You see this as not being a healthy situation. And then you're like, but even though I can see that it's not healthy, because like this person is in a very low vibrational energy. This is very dense. This is very much like somebody in a space where like they're not cultivating a healthy relationship with themselves. There's a lot of shadow here, and so they're also not cultivating a healthy relationship with you. What's going on with them is just a reflection of how they are treating you in the relationship, is a reflection of what's going on with them internally, you know? It's not a reflection of you. But again, you knowing that and being like, I put my finger on it now. I recognize that this is unhealthy. This can also be like a codependent energy as well. With a devil, this can be like, I'm addicted to this person in the relationship, even though they're mean to me, or even though they put me down, or even though they don't treat me right, or even though they won't get vulnerable, even though there's a lack of intimacy with this person. Because this is like ultimately, and like I love that this card is green. This card represents the heart chakra being closed. Like it's not open for business, not with this person. So that's what's going on there. You know that it's unhealthy, but you may still be kind of like addicted to this person or the relationship. So you're in a space where you're like, okay, I recognize that it's not healthy, but I can't leave, or what am I supposed to do? It's like you put yourself in this space that is Eight of Swords self-imposed, where you're kind of like, an unsolvable problem. I do get the sense of like bringing humor into this, like definitely maybe using humor as a coping strategy, because it just may seem like it's getting to a point where like this situation has spun itself in such a ridiculous way that you're like, in my conscious brain, there's a part of me that's very aware that this is like so unhealthy and that I shouldn't be a part of this anymore and that it's really dragging me down. It's affecting other areas of my life. I'm not sleeping right, or like my diet's messed up. I don't feel healthy. My body doesn't feel right. Things like that. Mentally, I'm suffering, all of this stuff. But then you're in your head and you're like, the blindfold is on. I don't want to see this. I don't want to see that I'm responsible here for being in this space. And you know, what can I do anyway? Because I love this person. We have a connection. So it's one of those situations. And I don't know how this is happening, and it may be different for each of you, but there's some way that there's now space between you and this person. So I don't know if you guys are on a break, or it's like they're leaving for work and you're home alone today, or what this is for you, but I'm seeing you have time alone to yourself. Some space where you're like, I need to rest, or there's something going on where there's like a separation. This card is like a separation. Whatever this is that you've been so connected to, there's space now. And this is like coming back to self and having the opportunity to center and to recharge. And while you're in this space that may feel much more close to like baseline, or you're coming down and your feet are touching the ground again, you're grounding, you recognize, hey, I have a choice that I need to make here. And I'm recognizing what the empowering thing to do is for myself, but at the same time, I have this voice playing in my head that's like, you don't deserve to feel empowered. Whatever this is that you're struggling with, this is like a critical negative self-talk space that you're experiencing. That you being with this person, it like is validating that for you. Like, I don't feel like I'm worth it, and this person shows it to me. It's something like this. This is something that would be like reflective of a situation in childhood for you. We don't need to get all the way into that. But you move to a space where you're recognizing, like, I'm not feeling empowered, and if I want to feel empowered, if I want to raise my self-esteem where I feel like I'm struggling, I need my environment to reflect that. Because if I'm in a space that is reflecting my low self-esteem, it's just going to keep reinforcing that. However, like, if I do want to empower myself, I need to tell myself that I can find strength away from this person. This is how you'll know the difference between like a purely loving connection versus a codependent situation, unhealthy situation, is that when you have like a pure love situation going on with someone, you feel empowered. You feel like even if they were gone tomorrow, I'd still be able to take care of myself. I'd still function. I like being around this person. I want to be around this person. I don't need to be around this person. I'd be fine on my own. It's like I'm complete by myself. Stuff like that, that you would be telling yourself, this person empowers me. I feel strong. They encourage me. They support me. Things like that. So it's going to be reflective of the like relationship that you have with yourself. If you're in a codependent relationship with someone or something, because for some of you, this doesn't have to be a relationship. You can be addicted to something, anything within the 3D, any physical thing that, yeah, any physical thing. It's like, you need me. Like, what are you going to do without me? Like, you're going to be nothing without me. Or like, how can you function without me? Like, I'm like the other half of you. Things like that, where you feel like you can't function without it. You need it. And it's something outside of yourself that you feel like you're not good without, or you're not okay without, things like that. Rather than having you feel like, if I have myself, I am complete. This is like, you need something outside of yourself to be complete. You need me. Like, that's what happens with this. Like, the thing with the devil too is like, when you break it down in a spiritual sense, it is like trying to, this is like your attempt to reach the light, to reach that pure love, connection, light, and all that, but going about it in a distorted way. And that's where the devil comes in. So that's what all of this is about. And you're at a point where you're like, I see it, but I don't want to see it. Like, I don't want to have to make a move here. This is really hard for me. I'm struggling here. But it's like, you know that you don't feel empowered here. See this? It's like the crying and the upset, or like whatever, the metaphorical crying, if you're not literally crying. It's just this like grieving and like the heaviness and all of that is like, what am I going to do without this thing, because of the like addictive component and quality of this thing, of like, when I separate from that, what do I have left? And then you get to a space where you're like, I have me, but you're not, again, you're not feeling very empowered through this situation, and you get to a point where it's like breaking the curse or breaking the bind or breaking the addiction, and getting to a point where you're like, now I feel like all over the place emotionally, because I'm recognizing that I have to leave. And that's what this is about. This is about walking away from something. But by you moving away from this thing that you recognize like is not healthy for you, and you're not like living your best life by connecting with this or doing this or participating in this or being around that person or in that environment, you get to a point where, as much as it may be a struggle and it's like this weeping energy because I don't want to walk away from it, but I know that I need to if I'm really going to find that connection that I'm looking for, it means that by doing this and by moving away, you're like moving towards that love and that purity, and that divine connection that you're really looking to yourself and to those around you. And it means that you're also walking away from like all of this sadness and all of this grieving, and that you don't have to be in this low point anymore. It's just a transition that you're in right now. You are going to be walking away from this. I don't know like how this is happening, because I'm seeing so much resistance, but either you're making this decision or the situation is going to happen in a way where you're actually going to be transitioning away from this energy, which is really going to alleviate things mentally for you, because you're working through some very, very dense energy here. And like, I will say this, absolutely, the devil can be characterized as anything that is unhealthy. It does not have to be a person. It's a frequency. So like anything can embody that frequency. It can be a person, it can be a habit, it can be a behavior, it can be a location, it can be many different things. I will say this too with the devil. The devil is not like something that you see that's like really spooky and you're like, oh, that's scary, I'm gonna run in the opposite direction. The devil is seductive. It's something within your life that it's like, ooh, this is gonna feel good to be around for a moment, but then it's like 10 seconds later you're like, what did I just do? It's like when you come down from it, you feel so terrible. So it may provide like instant relief for you within a moment, but that relief is very short-lived. It's very fleeting. It's not something that's going to last. This is something that is going to last for you. But the devil is like the illusion. It's the Maya. That something, it's like going to promise you like, yes, you can have that thing that you want, the thing that you want most in the world. And it gives it to you, and like as soon as it gives it to you, it rips it away. And you just get in that cyclical space, that dance. When you get to the point where you have, I saw 1900 on the time, when you get to the point where you have been on the Ferris wheel, on the merry-go-round enough with this, when you've done enough laps within the cycle, you're going to be like, I'm done with this, I'm clearing this out and I'm moving away from it. But until you get to that point, this is something that you're going to keep repeating. It's just a habitual thing, it's a cyclical thing, but know that you're not doomed to repeat this. It all has to do with your willpower, your determination, your stamina, what you choose to do within this cycle. It's not something that it's basically like this. Your key to remove yourself from this situation is you connecting with your solar plexus energy, your willpower, And if your will is saying, I'm not doing this again, then you're free. You're not doing it again. But that is the key for you. Taking responsibility, taking accountability, and moving past this. But there's an energetic and a psychological component that is the foundation of this, that needs to be a conclusion that needs to be arrived at in order for you to pull through and do this. So it's all about like where you are psychologically with this, and then things will fall into place, because it's not a matter of, oh, I'm not strong enough or anything like this. It's just a matter of willpower for you, and doing something enough that you then become motivated to move away. And that will be the day that you never have to repeat this again. So know that like your fate, like karmically speaking, it is all in your hands. So that is the conclusion of this energy. Okay, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. Capricorn placements, maybe feeling this strongly. Possibly Capricorn Venus. Hard aspects to your Venus energy. Interpersonal relationships. Things that you are attracted to. Okay, my friends, we're going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for joining. Thank you for connecting. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.